LawBreakers was a title that was created by Boss Key Productions, guys, and this was a studio that was created by Cliff Bleszinski, of course, very well known in the Gears of War franchise, and he started his own thing with Boss Key Studios, creating LawBreakers, which had some really interesting concepts around it, and I thought was actually a really cool first entry for this company as a whole. But obviously, we know, guys, that this is a title that failed and failed miserably. And so I want to talk about, what happened here to LawBreakers. Could we ever see a return to this franchise in the form of LawBreakers 2? And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So guys, in an article that's going to be coming to us from Andy Chalk of PC Gamer, the Boss Key Studios co-founder shared some new thoughts about the fate of his recent games in a recent Instagram post. So it's a sad reality of the video game business that sometimes, for a variety of reasons, good games fail. Games like, say, LawBreakers. Evan liked it an awful lot, calling it a complex, physical, and deep competitive shooter in his 84 out of 100 review, but it nonetheless tanked badly. Its emergency pivot battle royale follow-up Radical Heights held early promise, but it was a rush job and it showed. Ever since the studio closed, I've been racking my brain what I could have done differently. Pivot hard when the juggernaut of Overwatch was announced, been less nice with my design ideas, and more of a dictator with them, he wrote. One big epiphany I had was that I pushed my own personal political beliefs in a world that was increasingly divided. And I think that's huge, guys. One thing in this Instagram post, I think that Cliff Bleszinski kind of, at least I took away from it, was that he kind of owned it. He owned that he made himself a lot of mistakes. A lot of times, guys, Cliff Bleszinski in a number of ways he's been a controversial figure at times. And I think here we're talking, this is a guy who's coming out saying, look, I could have done things better, and things of that nature. And I think that's totally true in a number of ways. So instead of the story being this game looks neat, it became this is the game with the woke bro trying to push his hacky politics on us with gender neutral bathrooms. Instead of these characters seem fun, it was this is the studio with the CEO who refuses to make his female character sexier. Instead of who am I going to choose, it became white dude, shoehorns diversity in his game, and then smells his own smug farts in interviews instead of just letting the product speak for itself. And I totally agree with this, guys. I feel like he is speaking facts here. Now, I'm not sure what to make of this. Looking at the LawBreakers wiki, the game seemed to have a relatively well-rounded cast, 9 men, 7 women, 2 androids, various ethnicities, but I don't recall it ever being presented as an overtly political or woke game, and that's certainly not a rep that Bleszinski himself brought to the conversation. Former Boss Key art director Tremel Isaac said in a 2016 interview with A-List Daily that Bleszinski had intentionally set out to build a diverse game and develop a diverse workforce at the studio, which is laudable, but games like Overwatch, Apex Legends, and Rainbow Six Siege all feature comparably diverse casts, and it doesn't appear to have cost them any. The Boss Key experience was rough enough to make Bleszinski swear off making video games forever, although he more recently acknowledged that forever is an awfully long time and he might be interested in giving it another go. Maybe that's why he's talking about Boss Key once again. So, Bleszinski, guys, has updated his post to emphasize that his political learnings were a factor in the failure of LawBreakers and Boss Key, not the factor. So, and I agree. I don't think that you can really pin it on one thing or another in particular, guys. I think it was a number of things that went wrong with LawBreakers and even Radical Heights, guys. I think there were some interesting concepts once again, but part of me felt that they were kind of chasing that bandwagon, or kind of chasing what was clout or what was, popping at that time, being like Battle Royale. I feel like that if they would have taken LawBreakers and say they would have done what the studio over at like No Man's Sky did, or what, Ubisoft did with Rainbow Six Siege, even though those had terrible launches, over time they kept supporting it, did what the community wanted them to do, and over time, guys, look at those games now. It's unbelievable what they've built over with No Man's Sky, as well well as with Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, it's incredible that those games had such huge comebacks. And LawBreakers had a better launch, typically speaking, even though it didn't sell very super well. I feel like they could have taken that community that they had, the very first title, and instead of working on Radical Heights right away and kind of chasing that Battle Royale train, they could have stuck with LawBreakers and build something really special over time with the community they had, and maybe brought it to consoles and things of that nature to really expand upon that legacy and all of that they were trying to do there. I just feel like it was too rushed, and then they end up jumping off ship, almost like right before or right after it basically launched, it felt like. So to me, guys, I think there were a number of things that went wrong. I'm really hoping at some point or another, if Cliff Bleszinski does come back, I feel like he should give LawBreakers another go around or another chance at doing maybe a reboot of it of some sort, or a LawBreakers 2. Let me know though, guys, what do you think happened here with LawBreakers? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more LawBreakers content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.